Hello and welcome back to my channel where I have a lot of exciting lore discoveries from you based on the etymologies of character names. Today I'm looking specifically at the named dragons in Elden Ring and also their home in Crumbling Farum Azula. This is something I started before while making the etymology video, which ended up focusing more on place names. Varti's excellent new video looking at the lore of the dragons from a story perspective has inspired me to revisit this and finish it. Almost all the names here have ancient Greek or Latin origins, or make allusions to classical mythology. This is significant in itself because it's another subtle way in which Elden Ring presents dragons as belonging to the ancient past, even within the timeline of the game, fragmented relics of a long-gone era. So with that, let's dive right in, starting with the easy ones. Borealis literally means north, but is often used in a broader sense to mean cold or icy. In Dark Souls 3, you may remember Vort of the Boreal Valley with his frozen great hammer. Smaragd, Smaragd, Smaragdi, and other local variations are the words that most European languages use for emerald. Surely enough, Smaragd is encrusted with emerald-like glintstones from devouring sorcerers. The name of Azula, the glintstone dragon, is a roundabout reference to the moon, which, as you know, plays an important role in the lore of magic. Mount Azula, which marks the border between the Italian and Swiss Alps, is where moonstone was first discovered and mined in large quantities. The name of the mountain itself is a Romansh form of the mountain's medieval name Mons Aquila, or Eagle Mountain. Achille is a nod to the famous Achilles, with the spelling change to emphasize his famous weak spot, his heel. Achilles was known as the greatest warrior during the Trojan War, and subsequent legends either praised or damned him as a killing machine. When Hector, the leader of the Trojans, came to fight Achilles, knowing he would die, he asked him not to spare his life, but simply to give him a proper funeral, which for them would have meant a funeral pyre. Elden Ring puts an interesting twist on this. Achille is also known for his destructive power, and if you listen to the dialogue of the enemies in the swamp, you will hear them begging him to come and put them out of their misery with his flame. The best and most famous image of Achilles, actually from ancient Greece, was made by the great pottery artist Exikias, after whom decaying Exikis is named. The two Magma worms have names with divine connotations. Theodorix comes from the Greek Theodore or Theodora, meaning gift from God, mixed with the Latin feminine suffix ix, which makes for an interesting variation. Makar, on the other hand, is a male name which comes from Makarios, which means blessed in the sense of happiness. The Greeks use this word to describe the blissful life of the gods. A Spanish feminine variant of this name is Macarena, as in the song. Grail, despite seeming like the easiest name, has actually been the most difficult to deconstruct in terms of teasing out any meaning. All and all are generic adjectival endings, and names ending in ALL, like Greenall, are usually contractions of hill or hollow, which would fit with Dragon Barrow, Barrow being an Old English term for a hill location. Grail, being a lesser daughter of Grail, could be said to have a similarly reduced version of her name. Perhaps the intention was to make the relationship between the two clear. These two are the only potentially Old English names on the list. The names of the four ancient dragons are all constructed in the same way, which seems to emphasize their seniority and maybe suggest shared ancestry or roots. Each has a Latin root with sax or ciex appended, the name of the short swords closely associated with the Saxons, and which indeed gave them their name. Lanciax is derived from lancea, which means lance. Fortisax comes from fortis, meaning strong. Grandsax from grandis, meaning large or old. And Placidusax from placidis, meaning quiet or peaceful. The final etymology we need to look at is, of course, Farum Azula. Farum, originally Pharos, is a Greek loanword and means lighthouse or beacon, for example as in the famous Farum Brigantium. This location is, in my opinion, inspired by the Lighthouse of Alexandria, or Pharos Alexandrinus, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. The lighthouse was one of the tallest man-made structures in its day, second only to the Great Pyramid of Giza, and was lit at the top by a great mirror by day to reflect the sunlight, and a furnace by night. It is as famous for its destruction as for its grandeur in its heyday. It was visibly damaged by earthquakes on several occasions, eventually becoming inaccessible and collapsing completely. As for the name, the root of Azul and its derivations like azure originally comes from the ancient Persian word for blue. In later usage, it sometimes specifically means sky blue. So there you have it. Farum Azula, the home of dragons, is literally a fiery beacon up in the great blue sky. Once a stronghold of power, now a crumbling ruin going the same way as the dragons themselves. Like the real-life edifice that inspired it, its legacy serves as a reminder that even the greatest civilization will mature and decline. As ever, I hope you've enjoyed this video and found it entertaining or enlightening. Every time I make these videos, I'm struck by how much care and effort goes into making these games, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the DLC has in store for us. Until then, whenever it is, remember to like and subscribe for more, and as ever, thank you for watching.